Today we're going big because I'm showing you the craziest, the most exciting, the most unexpected new watch releases you need to see. We're talking Tudor upgrades, Omega reinventing a legend, Oris quietly dropping some heat, and Christopher Ward going completely nuclear with Lume. Ming getting futuristic, and Unimatic teaming up again with Todd Snyder, and even Gérald Genta coming back with a statement piece. These aren't mild releases. This is my curated list, and these are insane releases. And dare I say, some of the most exciting releases of the year. I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's get into it. Now, if you are new around here, let me introduce myself. I'm Jag from Jag's Watches, and we are creating a community of weirdos and nerds that love watches. I'm a watch enthusiast, not a watch expert, so if you want to join our weird little community, please do consider subscribing, liking, hitting the bell icon. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers, so it would mean the world to me. I'm going to leave my favorite release to the end, of course, because I want you to watch to the end of the video. But I'm going to start off with the controversial one. I'm going to start off with the Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean. As a 4th generation. The cost of this is around $7,000 to $8,500 dependent on the configuration. I think the Planet Ocean almost went through the biggest redesign in 20 years. And I think Omega did okay with it. And I feel like I'm in the minority here. I think generally the response has been really, really positive. But for me, the Planet Ocean was never a watch that I was hugely fond of. From a technical perspective, unbelievable, 600 meters of water resistance. And now in a thinner case, I think 13.79 millimeters thick, 42 millimeter diameter. So look, it's a massive improvement from the previous generation with regards to the thickness and the wearability of it. But the case shape for me and the dial and the shiny bezel, it's just all a bit much. And look, I mean, you get the coaxial master chronometer in there, which is great with 60 hours of power reserve. Look, it's a beast of a watch. It's a bulletproof watch, you could almost say. But from an aesthetic point of view, it's not my personal choice. If I was going to advise anybody on buying a diver's watch, I would just say go for a Seamaster. They're basically 30-40% cheaper, and I always say the 90 Seamasters are the sweet spot. I know I'm going to annoy a lot of people out there, especially the Planet Ocean fanboys, but for me, it's not really return to form. It's, I guess, a watch no one really asked for. I might be a little bit ignorant in saying that. I really don't think it's something to shout about, but I wanted to just cover that because it was a recent release. Now we're moving on to Oris, the ProPilot date. It's a 2025 update, and now this, not many people are talking about, which really surprises me. Now, it's 2,150 Swiss francs. On the strap, it's 1,950. And I think Oris is quietly cooking again, especially from an aesthetic point of view. I feel like this ProPilot date is a massive improvement. It's got the updated dial is unreal, in my opinion. Almost got the texture of a vintage camera, if that makes sense. Deeply grained, 3 colors, the black, the chalk, and the moss green. Newly applied numerals, cleaner hands, color matched date at the 6 p.m. where controversially, I think most dates should sit. I know mine's at 3 p.m. here, but anyway. And improved lume. The case is 41 millimeters. I think it's crisp, sharper chamfers, damn, that's hard to say. Redesigned bezel, inspired by jet engines, and 100 meters of water resistance, and the famous Oris lift clasp that I really want to get hands on with. The clasp on the bracelet, really impressive. Goes with the theme of pilot watches. I love that. And inside is the Oris Caliber 733, essentially a Sellita SW200-1, 41 hours of power reserve. Nothing fancy, but in my opinion, pretty reliable. And around £2,000, decent value, dare I say. Moving on to number 4, we've got Christopher Ward with the C1 Bell Canto Lumière now. This is around the $5,000 price point. It's not cheap, but it's impressive, to say the least. If you want lume, then Christopher Ward essentially saying, here is all the lume you can have. This is a lume beast. That's why it's called the Lumière. The sonic chiming complication, which is amazing. Smoke sapphire dial layered with a blue globalite ring with lume-filled hands, lume printed dial details, and even a lume-infused rubber strap, which I think is just completely overkill, in my opinion. But look, the thing basically looks like Tron on your wrist, and if that's the aesthetic you're going for, I don't think there's a better watch out there. If you have a lume fetish, then there's no better watch out there for you. It's one of the boldest releases of the year, for sure. Completely left, for sure. Now, moving on to Ming, which is a brand that I have never been hands-on with, but you cannot deny their recent release has been pretty impressive. And I'm talking about the grey grade 5 titanium polymesh bracelet in particular. But, you know, the watch I'm talking about is the 3711 Odyssey Diver GMT. Now, coupled with the polymesh titanium bracelet, which has the properties of titanium with regards to, you know, strength, but has the feel of fabric, essentially, from what I understand. Really, really impressive. Something really so innovative that I haven't seen any other watchmaker kind of come out with. And for me, I really just wanted to touch upon that. I think the watch is very futuristic. The titanium diver weighs under 42 grams, which is really impressive, alongside having 300 meters of water resistance. The case is 38 millimeters, which is a sweet spot. I think the smoked sapphire dial is gorgeous. I think, you know, quite often modern watches and modern designs don't hit personally for me, but the Ming range really does, and I think it just looks so premium. I think, and look, I'm not gonna lie, it's around, I think, 6,000 Swiss francs for the titanium polymesh as well as the GMT. Expensive, it's not cheap, but nobody designs a watch like Ming does, I have to say. Very unique, and I'm impressed. I'm moving on to, thankfully, a more affordable release. We're talking about the Unimatic Todd Snyder Modello Quattro U4 GMT. Now, this is around the $1,000 price point, limited to 100 in the black variant and 250 in the cream variant. I'm fans of both of these colorways. I think they're brilliant. They both have a 40mm diameter case, matte dials with a big Bauhaus numerals, and minimalist look that feels extremely New York meets Milan, which totally makes sense. Inside is the Seiko NH34A GMT movement. Now, it's a reliable GMT movement with 41 hours of power reserve, no date, no fluff, just a clean design, utilitarian design in my opinion, and a really nice aesthetic for around $1,000. Let me know in the comments if you're a fan of this. Now, moving on to probably a very odd release, but again, not many people talking about it, probably because it's so odd. The Gérald Genta Gentissima Oursin 41mm. It originally was in a smaller size, and they've come out with a 41mm version of this watch, and it's wild, to say the least. Now, probably one of the most luxurious sea urchins you'll ever wear. It's got 234 white gold beads hand-applied onto a sandblasted grade 5 titanium case. Titanium case? Titanium case. Blue or green meteorite dial. It's very impressive with regards to the materials, and look, the price certainly reflects that. It's around I can't speak today. It's 25,000 Swiss francs. The Zenith Elite GG005 caliber with 50,000, with a 50-hour power reserve. Oh my God, I'm gonna end this video really soon, I promise. Moving on to my favorite release, and one that really caught me off guard. They announced this this week at Dubai Watch Fair, whatever it's called. I wish I was there because it looks absolutely amazing. Of course, I'm talking about the Tudor Ranger. They've released a 36mm version of the black original dial, but they have just come out with a 36mm version of the beige dome dial that just screams rugged simplicity. Now, inside, this Tudor gives us the manufacturer caliber MT5 400, cost certified, 70 hours of power reserve, and still waterproof to 100 meters. This watch reminds me of that very rare Albino 1016. For me, dare I say, a future classic. I think the color of this style, the creamy, sort of replicating a bit of patina. I mean, I don't know if you've seen, but there's this Explorer 2 that's been doing the rounds on Instagram, and it's patinaed perfectly, and it's that creamy color. This is exactly the same color as this new Tudor 36mm. They did the right thing making this a 36mm watch, because again, it just shouts the 1016 at me. And I know, look, we're trying to move, Tudor's kind of maybe trying to move away from being Rolex's little brother, but I'm a huge fan of the 1016, so this is only a good thing for me. I have been playing with the idea of buying a Rolex Explorer 36, but honestly, this watch, this Tudor Ranger with the beige dial has thrown a spanner in the works, and Tudor, I'm really angry because I don't know what to do. And look, it's around the $3,000, £3,000 price point. It's great value for money, dare I say. I can't wait to get hands-on with this. You know, I think it releases in January, but this is by far my favorite release over the last couple of weeks, and it has genuinely thrown a spanner in the works. So let me know in the comments if you're as excited about this release as I am. So there you go. Over 10 watches mentioned there with the different variations. Tudor's clean Explorer vibes to Omega's huge redesign, potentially Oris's best dial work yet, and Christopher Ward glowing like a light show. Let me know in the comments which one's your favorite, and as usual, if you've enjoyed the video, please do like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. It really helps the channel, and we're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. So as usual, thank you for all the support. I've been Jag from Jags Watches, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.